Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my daily journal series. And today, we're going to be going over a few things. Now, I gotta admit, I kind of made a little mistake. I made a little announcement about it in the YouTube announcements feature. I'm still learning this whole platform, and I kind of messed up. I deleted my files from the last video that I recorded for today, the one with the today's sleep session. And I started the upload, thought it was uploaded, but didn't get fully uploaded, and I had deleted the file, so I couldn't re-upload it. I just lost that file eternally, so you guys can't see my sleep session or my reactions to those things, but I kind of wanted to just go over kind of what happened. Now, as you can see, I already fed the Snorlax all 3 meals today. I've been kind of struggling to find a little time to record this re-record, but let's collect from the Gardevoir. Got a nice energy for everyone proc. It's always welcome. Helps to keep the team topped off. Nothing off Entei there, but I think I got 2 procs earlier today, throughout the day, so got a bit more stacking. Earlier I tapped the Arcanine, and it actually gave me a proc on itself, but then I didn't collect its berries because I'm trying to overstack on it. Normally I wouldn't recommend overstacking on a skill specialist, but this guy has berry finding. That's pretty much all he does. He's kind of just a temporary replacement until I find a good Ninetales, which is kind of on my long-term hunt list right now, because I want something to pair nicely with my Typhlosion and my Entei for overstacking. But yeah, I know I got some diamonds from the daily gift and stuff, but I do want to show what I saw for my sleep trends, or my sleep last night, even though I can't show you the actual session and my catching of things. I saw 2 Altarias. This top belly Altaria was a new sleep style. And 3-star Altaria as well. I now have all 4 Altaria sleep styles, which I can actually show you if I go into the sleep decks of the Rain on X calculator. I like to track my sleep styles in here so you can see all the sleep styles I got. And as of this morning, after getting that 4-star style, I now have all the ones for Altaria. I'm still working on Swablu, I think. Well, maybe I have all 4 Swablu, I don't know. Here, little live find out. I don't know what style Swablu is. Oh, it's... Okay, yeah, I got all 4 on Swablu as well. So now I've got that entire line covered. But, yeah. I also saw a couple Venusaurs, an Ivysaur, 2 Ekans, and a Bulbasaur. As you can see, I caught the Bulbasaur. I don't really need another Bulbasaur because I already got a pretty good one. But I figured out of this list, what else am I going to catch? Ekans is just not a good berry specialist. And Venusaur and Altaria are too much of an investment for how much they cost in biscuits for what they're worth. So I was like, I'll just catch the Bulbasaur. It turned out to have the Quiet Nature, I believe, which is ingredient finding up, which is good. But it had the ABA list, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I ended up sending it off in candy because I do have what I consider to be a better Venusaur, which I will show off. Now, I could take this either one of 2 ways. It does have the AAC list, which is a bit unfortunate because you kind of want the mono honey on the Venusaur, but it's got good enough sub-skills in nature. It's got that ingredient finding up nature, and it's got the help speed M sub-skills, but if I'm to plug it into the production comparison section of the Rain on X calculator, then you'll see that as of right now, at level 31, it kicks out 85 honey a day. That's honestly more than I think I'll ever need unless they release some insane meals coming up. But if you check out the current meals, the top tier meal, only the one that takes the most amount of honey is only 20. So you really don't need anything more than 60 honey a day. And just given that it produces 85 right now, I don't really ever need to bring it up level 60. But let's say I want to get it to that point, and I power level this guy all the way to... Let's just see what it looks like at 59. At 59, it's 101 honey a day. And if I just kept it there, then that's plenty of honey. I don't even need a level 60 mono honey Venusaur. But even if I get it to level 60, it's still producing that 64 honey a day, which is beyond what I feel I need, because that's enough for 21 in every meal. I've got no problem with it, even though it's partially taken up by the potatoes there. And who knows? Maybe there's something I can do with these potatoes. As of right now, there aren't any meals that take honey and potato. But maybe one day they'll add something. I could also use it for Dream Eater butter curry or something else. Because this is 18, that's 42, I believe? No. Man, why am I not able to do 18 times 3 right now? Oh well. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts with the Venusaur. Sorry about the side hook there. So, other than that, I just kind of wanted to show off a couple of my Pokemon. Now, I want to show off Clyde here. So, Clyde, I called him Clyde because, as you can see, I also got Bonnie. Bonnie's a female, Clyde's a male. They're kind of the troublemakers for the Entei week. They covered Entei week for me pretty well. As you can see, Clyde, he's got the Berry Finding S. Right now, he's just got Inventory up S for the second sub-skill, but he's got that Speed of Help up Nature, which is always good on the Berry Specialist. Actually, it's always good on every Pokemon in this game. There's not a single Pokemon in the game that wouldn't benefit from this nature. There are some that prefer other natures, mostly Ingredient and Skill Specialist, but this nature is still always going to be good, but it's one of the best on the Berry Specialist. So, and having that Help Speed S coming in at 50, just a nice little boost. I'll be glad when it gets there. It's not amazing because unfortunately it's blocked by the Help Speed M at level 100 to get it there, but from being able to sub-skill seed it, but oh well, what you gonna do about it? It's still a strong Pokemon, just with the Berry Finding S and the Speed of Help up Nature, so he's my main Typhlosion. I do have Bonnie as well. She's not as good. I mostly just invested in her to get her to a high enough level that I could use her during Entei week, because she did carry quite hard during Entei week. She's got the helping bonus and the Help Speed M. I value helping bonus pretty much the same as I value Berry Finding S on the Berry Finders. If you know anything about the math behind helping bonus, I think it is a tremendously underrated. I think it's a very underrated skill in this game, which is surprising to say because a lot of people see it as one of the best sub skills in the game. So to call it underrated implies that the community doesn't respect some value in it, and I think that it is as good, if not better, than the Berry Finding S, especially on Pokemon that you're running all the time. So that's why I invested into her. She's ultimately she doesn't have that much help speed up. She just has the helping speed M and the helping bonus, but it's still pretty great, and she really carried hard during Entei week. I'm just probably not going to invest too much more into her than I am going to Clyde. Now, here's where I got off on my next little tangent in the last recording. Golem. Now this Golem, I found him pretty much right away. He was pretty early on, as you can see, October 12th of 2023. At that point, I didn't even know what was necessarily good, what was bad. I was just kind of catching things. And I happened to stumble upon this guy. Now, I saw potatoes at level 30. Potatoes were a rare ingredient at the point. They weren't on level 1 on any Pokemon in the game. Now that has changed because of Meowscarada's introduction. But I saw Ingredient Finding S and Ingredient Finding Up Nature, and I was like, that sounds like it'd be something that's good. And turns out, it actually is good. It's not perfect because it's blocked by this at level 100, unfortunately, from having the double ingredient finding. But one day he'll be amazing. It just will be a long time. One day he'll be amazing for producing potatoes, but he's already really good at it. And I just wanted to show off, I've got a collection. Oh boy, have I got a collection of potato monsters. So, if I first plug in this Golem, you can just see that whenever I get him to level 60, he'll be producing 78 potatoes a day. Keep in mind that the dish that takes the most amount of potatoes is this one, 18 potatoes a day, or 18 potatoes a meal. That is just 54 potatoes a day, which, as I covered before, my Venusaur at level 60 covers 55. I don't even need this guy, because eventually this dude's going to hit level 60, and then it'll produce the potatoes along with the honey. Dual rolls. Yeah, but aside from the Golem, I've also got, let's see, where is he? this Graveler. Now, I caught this Graveler way later, but also a double potato Pokemon. I don't think I actually have this one saved. We'll put him in as a a Golem, level 60. He was caught as a Graveler, but as you can see here, just what are these subskills? It's got the high inventory, it's got the quiet nature, it's got ingredient finding M, which is better than the Golem because he's stuck at S. And plenty of inventory as he levels up, but still. Now, if I plug him in, ingredient finding up, XP gains down. With that ingredient finding and plenty of inventory as time goes on. And that skill trigger, I'm coming in late. If we look at this, that's 102 potatoes every day. That's going to beat out most Meowscuratas. Like, even if I just put in a basic Meowscarada that has mono potato and, like, is okay. Let's say it just has ingredient finding M and help speed S. This might outproduce the Golem, but I'm guessing not by much. Level 60. 88! And this isn't even that bad of a Meowscarada. Here, let's make it even better. And let's give it a mild nature. Often regarded as one of the best natures for an ingredient finder. This is a really, really good Meowscarada, and it produces 104 potatoes a day. This Golem, that's a Graveler currently, if I got it to level 60, it would produce almost the same amount as a Meowscarada. So why should I ever hunt a Meowscarada? I don't think I should, because I've got these guys pulling their weight. Now, I am lacking in a soybean producer, but I've kind of got that in my Tyranitar, so it's like, whatever. But, atop this Graveler and this Golem, I don't even have a Meowscarada. I caught... Oh, here's the... I thought I transferred this guy. Here's the Bulbasaur I caught this morning. It's actually decent. It's got a decent nature and eventually ingredient finding, but... It's a bit late. Too little too late. And it's got tomatoes, so I just... Here, I'll transfer it now so I don't forget again. There we go. This Wooper, I believe, is the one. Yes. Here's a Wooper that I caught. Look at these subskills. Look at that nature. Why do I need this kind of potato production? I just don't know why the game keeps giving me these. If I plug it in here, ingredient finding M, help speed S, ingredient finding S, skill trigger, and research XP. With the rash nature. I just tisk at it. Look at that, 98 more potatoes. Another insane potato farmer. Now, I wish I had found these guys before I found this guy. But I had him way longer, so he's kind of the one I'm locked into for now. I'm still saving these guys, because, you know, what if one day there's a meal that takes 100 potatoes a meal? You know what, maybe I'll need them. I just doubt it. And Quagsire really wants to be the triple mushroom, so, like, I'm extra, like, torn about that one. But then the final one, where it just gets even more absurd. Let me see if I can find it here. I know it's somewhere in here. Let's do the good old search. Ah, my Mr. Mime. Now, I'm actually actively investing in this guy because he's got the rare combination of, well, not rare, Victory Bell's also got it, but tomatoes and potatoes, which can be nice for Dream Eater Butter Curry. So, for a bit more synergy in the meals, I kind of want to keep this guy around. But I have him in here as well. And I've saved him. If I'm able to get him to level 60, then he produces 82 potatoes a day. Still also better than my Golem that I've already invested in. But across all these guys, they produce more than 365 potatoes a day. Or 364, 365, in that range. I'm never going to need that. Yet there's a part of me that really wants just wants to get them to level 60. Just to make a meme team that outputs so much potatoes, because I feel like RNG has just decided to grant me the keys to the potato kingdom, you know? It's completely unnecessary. Potatoes aren't even that great of an ingredient. I'd say like A tier, maybe B tier, not quite S tier like the corn or the soybean leeks or mushrooms. They're just below that. But I think it's just funny, because who else has this much potato production? Nobody. I doubt any of you out there have as much potato production as me if I can get these guys up there. Well, I will go over a few more Pokemon. But that was my rant about potatoes. Now, I've gone over I'll cover my Entei and my Flareon as well. A couple more fire types. So, Entei, for those of you that haven't seen Nerth's video, the first of his series documenting his viewers, their Pokemon that they've submitted. I submitted my Pokemon. I submitted 4 of them. This was one of the 4. The other 3 were my Tyranitar, my Gigachu, and my Gengar that I use all the time. This is probably the luckiest find I have in my entire box, honestly. Its sub-skills and nature are just perfect for what you're looking for on a skill specialist, especially the Legends. Now, the Legends struggle a bit from inventory because their proc rate is so ridiculously low that overnight they're probably not going to be giving you double procs unless you have some sort of inventory to make it so that throughout the night they're rolling multiple chances, multiple attempts. More attempts than they would off default. And they only have one. They're a single stage. They don't have evolutions. So they really, really want that inventory. Unlike some skill specialists don't need it as much. But yeah, to have skill trigger M and inventory up L, just the chef's kiss right there in the first 2 sub-skills. And it only gets better from there. Helping speed M, eventually that helping bonus, which I see as the best sub-skill in the game. And then help speed S. And it's just got one of the best natures, if not the best nature, for skill specialists in the game, with the main skill up, energy recovery down. I think it is the best for the Legends. One can make the argument for ingredients down being slightly better, but that is just a minor change. It's the difference between being the best and like the second or third best of like millions of combinations. You can't. I doubt anyone's gonna have an Entei better than this, at least for a long time. Now, it's only skill level 3. That's just because I've been kind of short on the main skill seeds. I'm pretty liberal with my main skill seeds. I jacked up my Raichu that I run with everywhere to main skill level 7. And this is my current target with the main skill seeds. I want to get this up to max for overstacking purposes, but I'm just not there yet, so it still works. I get 5 helps every time it procs, which is significant. It is building up my team slowly, but... And then the Flareon, the last one I promised to review today. Now this Flareon, one thing that I like about it is that it's got mono milk. You're not really looking at the ingredients list for a skill specialist, but I think when it comes to milk in particular, we can be considering it because, well, if we just go back to that infographic right here, you can see that when it comes to milk, and I talked about this in my Persian video, when it comes to milk, there's not a single meal currently that takes more than 12 milk. You don't need a mono milk specialist. And currently the only one that can do mono milk is Blastoise, and he much better serves the purpose of mono cacao, which is actually used in these top tier meals in really significant portions. 25 is the biggest portion of any meal across the game, aside from the 27 herbs and corn keema curry. So it's significant that you want a really good double cacao Blastoise, especially since there is an alternative to Blastoise in the Absol. But honestly, Absol, and I'll get into this eventually in my Pokemon review series, Absol isn't that much better than Blastoise, and under the right circumstances can actually be worse than Blastoise, even with the mono cacao list. So I really recommend the Blastoise go for the cacao, and you give the milk to a berry or skill specialist that produces the milk. And in my case, that is my Flareon. Now, this thing doesn't have ingredient finding subskills, but I find that it produces enough milk anyway, just because it's got that monolist. And I feel like it'll eventually... It doesn't produce quite enough right now for the 10 per meal, but eventually it will when it reaches level 60, which is my goal eventually with this thing. Especially since its job is to make the pot size bigger, which just synergizes well with the idea of cooking big meals. So, I'm trying to find it. Ah, there it is. It's right there. Okay, now, the big drawback of this Flareon is that it's got speed of help down, which means it's actually not producing that much milk. But still, it's level 41, which I actually have wrong in here. And that produces me roughly 17 milk a day, which is enough for about 6 per meal. But as you can see, most of these milk meals take no more than like 10. So, and it's increasing the pot size, which is the greater value in it. And it's pretty good at doing that. As you can see here, it gets about 5 procs a day, which is plenty. For the pot size increased Pokemon, the really big thing that you're using them for is when you're not running a good camp ticket, you can increase the pot so that you can still make those much larger meals when you have the ingredients to do so. And realistically for that, you need 3 procs a day. Actually, I would argue 4 procs a day, because most of the time 2 of your procs are going to be right away in the morning when you wake up, which means you want 1 on every meal is really what you want. So 4 procs a day, I think, is ideal, because you'll probably wake up to 2 right away, and then the idea is throughout the day, around midday, you'll get 1 for lunch, and then you probably get about 1 for dinner. I get about 5 with this, which is well beyond the clearance. That I shouldn't get screwed by RNG that often. So, I'm happy with it. It gives me enough procs. I've never had issues with it. It's a nice little guy. I've got plenty of candies for it if I ever want to get it to 60 in a heartbeat. If I really need that extra milk. Let's see, how much would it produce at level 60? It'd start kicking out 31, which is beyond that point of making the 10 milk per day that some of these higher level dishes take. It's not enough for Moo Moo Caprese Salad, but I wouldn't even recommend Moo Moo Caprese Salad for a meal. I generally say anything below like this line right here. Like the Spore Mushroom Curry is like the lowest value meal that you should be considering on any team where you're running ingredient specialists. And same with the Water Veil Tofu Salad and the Petal Dance Chocolate Tart. I think they're like the bottom of the barrel, lowest things you should really be considering for long-term play. Anything below that, I feel like you're compromising too much and kind of wasting the ingredient specialist potential. So that's kind of my opinion on it. I think the 25% boost. There's a bit of an exception with the Spore Mushroom Curry because it's 20%, but it's such strong ingredients that it actually comes out to be stronger than some of these 25% meal boost dishes. But yeah. So this Flareon, I think it's perfect for my purposes, and that's great. So, thank you for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow, and you'll actually, hopefully, if I don't mess up again, you should be able to actually see my research session tomorrow. Oh, look at that. 2,000 more. Hopefully I'll be hitting Master 3 by tomorrow. My goal for the week is just to get Master 3 at a minimum, because I just like to get that free incense. I think building up incenses is a good idea, so that you can have bonuses during events, or just run into more encounters for the Pokemon that you want to level. In my case, this week is a Stuffle incense, I believe. Let's see. Yes, it is a Stuffle incense. So, I'd like to get that free Stuffle, just because why not? So I'd like to get Master 3 at least. But aside from that, my goal here is to overstack the berries. And on Monday, you guys will have to tune in then. You'll have to see the berry bomb that I'm going to drop. I've been good. I haven't been tapping them, like, at all. I had a close call. I tapped my Raichu once and saw all the berries and was like, oh, wait, nope, don't collect them. Don't collect them. Saving those for next week. But yeah. So, thank you. Tune in next time.